Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're gonna be making 3 different one-pot meals that check all the boxes. Minimal cleanup, quick and easy, and batch friendly, so you can enjoy it for days to come. If you're interested in even more one-pot recipes, we've got a filter for that in our app. And by the way, you can now sign up to our app through our website. And to kick off the holiday season for a limited time, we're offering 25% off our annual subscription and our app gift cards. So if you're still looking for the perfect Christmas gift idea, use the code JOYFUL25 to snatch it. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link for you in the description box below, or you can scan this QR code right here. But for now, grab your pot and let's get cooking. Our first recipe is proof that budget-friendly dishes can still be bold, hearty, and so delicious. This is our smoky lentil stew. To start, we're gonna finely chop 2 medium onions, or if I can share a little kitchen hack, this is a new little gadget in our kitchen that we are growing very quickly obsessed with. It's a vegetable chopper. So if you're not a fan of chopping veggies, you can just add your veggies to this. If you slam down on it, it's just gonna chop it up into these uniform little pieces. And I especially love using it for onions, because then you're not gonna be crying as much. If you're interested, I'll leave a link for you in the description box. All right, next, we're gonna heat up some oil in a saute pan, add in the onions along with some salt. This is gonna help them sweat out, and just slowly stir it and let it caramelize over the next 15 minutes or so. You do want to be patient here. This step is where so much of the flavor develops. If you need to, you can always deglaze the pan with a little bit of water. While the onions cook, we're gonna mince up some garlic, chop up some kale, though spinach works just as well if that's what you've got on hand, and we're gonna rinse some basmati rice. Then we can set all of this aside for later. Once the onions are beautifully golden, we're then gonna add in some tomato paste, the minced garlic, smoked sweet paprika, and ground cumin. Then we're gonna cook everything for another minute or 2. Just make sure to stir it throughout so everything is toasting. Now it's time to bring the stew together. We're gonna add in some veggie stock, the chopped kale, some cooked brown lentils, the rinsed rice, and a splash of dark soy sauce for a hit of umami. Let this all simmer gently for about 15 minutes. Be sure to stir it often though, because the rice can stick to the bottom of the pan as the stew thickens. And when the rice is fully cooked and tender, we can then dish it up. To serve, we're gonna ladle the stew into bowls, and don't forget this step, this is crucial. We're gonna top it with a dollop of vegan aioli. It's garlicky and creamy, and it's just this beautiful, rich contrast to the smoky stew. Now, for convenience, we're using a store-bought aioli, but if you're interested in feeling adventurous, we do have a recipe for a homemade vegan aioli on our website that is so worth giving a try. It is so delicious. I'm gonna leave that link for you in the description box below. But in a pinch, you can also use yogurt instead if you'd prefer. Now, optionally, you can garnish it with some fresh dill or just dig in as is. The stew is thick, hearty, and incredibly satisfying, proving that budget-friendly doesn't have to mean boring. All right, for the next recipe, we're making a soup that's perfect for a chilly autumn or winter's day. It's our gnocchi soup. So we're gonna first start with a little bit of prep. We're gonna finely chop an onion, grab a couple of celery ribs and finely chop those up as well, and then we'll shred 1 carrot. Then we can head over to the stove and grab a large pot, heat up a drizzle of oil, and then add the prepped veggies to the pot along with 2 crushed garlic cloves. Then we're just gonna cook everything for about 3 to 4 minutes until it's fragrant. Next, we're gonna sprinkle in a couple of spoonfuls of flour and then stir constantly for about 2 minutes to help toast the flour. So this step just helps to thicken the soup slightly, but if you don't wanna add any flour, you can skip this step. Just keep in mind the soup will be a bit thinner, and in that case, I'd also add a little less liquid later just to help balance things out. Now we're ready to build the flavor. We're gonna add 2 crumbled vegetable bouillon cubes, some water, a splash of vegan cooking cream, though canned coconut milk works great here too, a touch of nutritional yeast for a cheesy kick, an Italian spice mix, and finally a spoonful of miso paste for some rich umami depth. Then we're just gonna let everything simmer gently, partially covered for about 10 minutes so that the veggies can soften and the flavors can meld together. Now while the soup is simmering away, we're gonna coarsely chop a couple of handfuls of fresh spinach for a little bit of extra green goodness. And once the veggies are cooked to your liking, you can add in the spinach, some vegan gnocchi, and a handful of frozen green peas for a boost of protein. We're then gonna let everything cook for about 3 to 4 minutes or until the gnocchi is tender. And when you're ready, you can serve up this creamy, comforting soup in some bowls. Now, I definitely recommend finishing this up with a drizzle of fresh lemon juice. It really brightens the dish and ties all the flavors together beautifully. But then I'm also gonna add some optional toppings. I've got some vegan parm, some black pepper, and some chili flakes for heat. And there you have it. It's an easy, warming gnocchi soup that's perfect for cozy nights in. All right, next, we're making a comforting chili that's gonna bring coziness to your dinner table in just 20 minutes. The prep work here is so minimal. All we need to do is slice up 2 stalks of green onions. Just be sure to keep the white and the green parts separate. Then we're gonna heat up some oil, add in only the white parts of the green onion, along with 3 crushed garlic cloves. And then we've got some spices: ground cumin, coriander, chili powder, cayenne pepper, salt, and black pepper. We're then gonna cook this mixture over medium-high heat for about 3 to 4 minutes or until it's fragrant. Okay, so a little tip about the heat here. This dish is on the spicier side, so if you prefer it to be a bit milder, you can either reduce the cayenne pepper or just skip it altogether. And if you want this to be even easier, you can always use a Mexican seasoning mix instead of all of the individual spices that we've used. Now it's time to add the base of our chili. We're gonna add in 2 cans of diced tomatoes, some cooked kidney beans, some tomato paste, adobo sauce, and a touch of brown sugar to balance out the acidity from the tomatoes. And now for some extra protein, we're also gonna add some veggie ground. This comes already pre-cooked, so we're just gonna add it straight in. But if you're using something like Beyond Meat or another fresh alternative, you're gonna wanna cook that and brown that first before you then add all of these other ingredients. If you're not a fan of mock meats though, you can always just add lentils or pinto beans instead. Let this all simmer gently for about 7 to 10 minutes, partially covered, and be sure to stir occasionally to keep everything from sticking to the bottom. The chili's gonna just keep thickening beautifully and the flavors are gonna meld so perfectly. And then whenever you're ready, it's time to serve it up. It's really that easy. So we're gonna spoon the chili into our bowls, and then you're gonna wanna pair it with some crusty toasted bread to help scoop everything up. And the best part are the toppings. I'm piling on some diced avocado, quick pickled red onions, optional cilantro, and some crumbled vegan feta for saltiness. How good does that look? This chili is everything you need in a comforting meal, and the best part is it freezes like a dream. So make a big batch, save it for later, and you're gonna have this delicious homemade meal ready to go whenever you need it. That's it for today, friends. 3 different one-pot meals to simplify your weeknights. If you're hungry for even more delicious recipes, I welcome you to check out our app. And for a limited time, you can use the code JOYFUL25 only on our website to get 25% off our 1-year subscription or our gift cards, a great holiday gift idea. I'll leave a link for you in the description box below, or you can scan this QR code right here. Thanks for hanging with me today. I really appreciate it. Pickle Limes signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Adding the flour here just helps to thicken the sloop. Adding the flour here just helps to thicken the sloop. Sloop. But if you'd prefer a thinner stoop. Don't eat too much because I need it for the, but also don't take small bites because then it'll be, it'll be obviously weird. But just don't take like massive bites and keep going. Okay, ready? Action.